What's up, guys? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. What's that song? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Like Mr. Cotter. Mr. Cotter, my head, Vinny Barbarino. If you guys remember that show, it was awesome. Welcome back, guys. It's time for another vlog. It's not like a vlog day because I don't pick and choose and go, oh, Monday's the vlog. It's kind of like when I jot myself like little notes and stuff to kind of talk about and touch on. When I have a bunch of them, I shoot a vlog. So that's the way it works. Seems like it's kind of happening every 2 weeks. So maybe it'll be about the same. Who knows? You know, we'll see how she goes. I got a big list of stuff to kind of pile through. So I don't know. We'll try and get through a bunch of it. I don't know if we'll get through all of it, but we'll try. What am I vaping? I am vaping the Copper Manhattan as my main device. I love this thing. Sony 30 amp battery with the Patriot on top. Drilled out all the bits. I love this thing. I love it. One story. Oh my God, this sucked so bad. Last week I was at work and I carry like a portable phone at work so other people can contact me and whatever. So I was walking. What's in the news, Robin? I've been waiting to do that somewhere. Anyway, I was walking with the phone. It rang. And you know in your jean pockets where you have that fifth pocket, like that little lighter pocket or coin pocket on the, you know, above the right pocket, hand pocket, whatever. I had my mod in there because I was just walking somewhere. I was going to go have a vape too. So I had my mod in there. I went to pull the phone out. And what happens? Boom! This guy drops out, lands on the floor. Man, I was choked because my Patriot took a little ding in the side. Not a big deal, but like flat spotted the top of the cap a bit. But the Manhattan just dinged. Like I got a flat spot on the firing button, like on the ring around the bottom. I don't know if you could see, but there's like little bumps in there where I kind of had to take pliers and bend it back out, and it sucked so bad to try and reform it. And my button locked a few times and it locked in the fire position, and I had to like rush to get the battery out, and it blew so bad. I did manage to kind of, you know, bend it out, and then I had to kind of sand out those little like ding marks from the pliers and kind of SOS pad it all clean. It's working good now, but when it gets grungy like the Copper Manhattan does on that firing switch, it starts to kind of like, you can feel it getting a little wonky, like a little tight, you know, but it's pretty close. That sucked, man. I was so choked about that. But she's hitting good now. One more thing that sucked. I've been talking about doing the Zenith V2 video, and it was for a clone. It was for the Yasmo clone, but I've said it in like 2 different things. Like I said it in another video, look out for it, and then in the last vlog, I think. So this is it, all right? And what happens? I did a build, okay? And when I went to tighten down that center post, I don't know if you could see it, but it broke. Like it friggin' broke. I was tightening down the screw to tighten some 20 gauge wire under there. And yeah, I use like thick wire, right? But when I was tightening it, it just kept going and going. And I'm like, what the hell? And I looked at the side and it had broken off. So that video is not going to happen because that sucked big time. It sucked big time. And I was liking it a lot. I was really liking it. One other crappy thing with it is this copper airflow control ring. Starting to flake off the coating, which is weird because it's like patinaing and getting grungy in one weird spot, but then the rest of it is all like shiny smooth. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't buy another one. I definitely would not. But like the engraving is good on it. The bottom, it's like, it's good engraving. Like, and it worked well for, you know, the 3 builds. That 3rd build, I think, killed it, you know. And the Delrin insulator kept coming out when I like took my drip tip off to drip into it or something, or to tailpipe it and then put my drip tip in. It popped right out. kind of sucked. I would not get another one of these Zeniths. Like, there's no friggin' way. No friggin' way. Oh, man, I actually had a kind of a bad week. Let me tell you why. Voltmeter. I ordered an inline voltmeter. I don't know if you remember the one that I had, but you could check the voltage drop on mods. And I fried the wiring in it. So I went to a website, the one where I got that from, and they got the same picture. It says inline voltmeter. The price is the same. And I'm like, sick, I'll get it. And I just won't fry the wires in it and put like 0.1 ohm builds on it. So they sent me this. Okay, and it looks like it's good, right? But all it does is it kind of takes like maybe your like ego device and turns it into being able to read resistance, voltage of your battery, and the wattage. Okay, so I put this thing on and it told me what my battery was. And I'm thinking, this is cool, very cool. And then I put, you know, a topper on it and tried to fire it. And it didn't fire. It told me what the voltage of my battery is. When you keep holding the button down, then it tells you what the resistance is and the wattage is. But everything I put on it, and it says on the back, like, ohms, unlimited, watts, unlimited. Okay, so it should read anything, right? Well, that's not true. Because ohms, for everything that I put, like around 0.1 on it, 0.2-ish stuff, 0.06, 0.08, whatever it was, it would read 0.8 ohms. 0.8, 0.8, 0.8, one time 0.7, and I'm like, does that mean it's 0.07? But no, I put a K-Fun build on it that was like 0.76, and it's 0.8. So I'm like, yeah, it reads that right, but everything reads 0.8 on this. And for all of the wattages, it was reading like 18. And I'm like, so, you know, my 0.16 ohm parallel Tiger is 18 watts. It sucked. I'm sending this back. It's really choked me. Really choked me. But, you know, out of the way with all the crap. All right? Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. New dripper I got. This is the 2 Puffs Quicksilver RDA. And it comes with 2 different sleeves with it. Like, it has a brass sleeve and a copper sleeve. So you could outfit it for, you know, whatever mods you're using. I've been using the stainless one. I dig it. The slots in it are generous enough that I haven't even wanted to drill this out. And when you take it apart, conical top cap, so flavor is impeccable in this. It's a reduced chamber in it. Comes up like super high reduced. And it is just awesome. Like, awesome flavor out of this. It has like a subfloor deck that you can unscrew. And then there's like a juice well underneath it. And you could put a ton of juice in here. I built a horizontal build in it, and it was great. It was so good. I had the wicks going down underneath the deck, and it was so good. So I decided, you know, what better way to build this than a vertical coil? And I was, you know, kind of trying this out. So when I shoot the video, you know, I try this out before I built it again and see how it goes. But I'm not digging the way that the vertical coils work in it. Like, it works okay, but is it awesome? Huh. Flavor's great. Flavor's really good, but the vertical coil does not work as well as the horizontal coil. It's kind of cool. It looks cool and it's a cool build to do, but in the video I'm probably not going to do the vertical coil because I want it to perform. Like, I want it to be good. So it's cool looking and it would be a cool build to show everybody, but for this particular RDA, it looks like it would work, but it's not as good. And I tried wicking it a couple different ways, so it's not the wicking, it's not designed well for it, you know? It's not. Maybe it has to do with the slots. If the slots were the other way, maybe it would work. I don't know. But yeah, there's that. The dripper itself is awesome. It is awesome. What else? I got another tugboat. I'm pretty excited. The Tugboat, awesome dripper. I've got it on the gold-plated Sentinel right now. And the Tugboats are pretty cool. Like, I like them a lot. Got the black anodized one. Drilled out the holes a little bit bigger. I think it's 1/8, like a 3 mil hole in it now on both sides. And it works pretty cool. I'm probably going to leave it like that. One thing that I found about these, let me have a pull. Yeah, they're great. But one thing I found about the Tugboats, this one and my last one, is that the machine oil flavor in it does not want to go away. Like, it does not want to go away in the Tugboats. No matter, like, I knew from my last one that I had to scrub the crap out of it, probably build it. Like, I built a coil, dry fired it, soaked it down with water and dry fired it and whatever, trying to just get rid of that, soak it in rubbing alcohol, all of that stuff. And I could not get that taste out of the last one, so I cleaned the crap out of this one. And still, it took me like 2 builds to get that machine oil flavor out. Like, the Tugboat is so cool. Like, it works so good, but just, yeah, getting rid of that machine oil taste sucks for it. Sucks for it. Anything with anodized on it, the top caps are tight. Like, it's stiff. Like, my other one goes on just nice. You can hold on to it. It doesn't drop, and it kind of clicks off. This anodized one, any anodized, you know, top cap I've had is tight. Like, it's the same fit, but they just anodize it, or, you know, it just becomes that slight bit thicker and becomes super tight. Like, you kind of got to SOS pad it to kind of clean it up. I still need to do this one to fix it up a bit. What am I vaping in this? I'm vaping Pearl Necklace. And it's weird when you go to the store to buy this, because you're like, hey, I really like that pearl necklace. That pearl necklace you gave me was really good. It's kind of weird. But the funny thing about this juice is, I was watching dude from Scotland, right? Todd E6. Hey guys, Todd here. This juice, it's stunning. It's just absolutely stunning. That dude, I love Todd, man. But he had this juice. He was using this in one of his videos. It was the Nautilus mini tank he was reviewing, and he had this juice, and he shouted out this guy Charlie, who has a shop in Brampton. And Brampton is pretty close to me. It's like, you know, a 40-minute drive from where I live. So it was pretty sick to watch this guy from Scotland just shouting out some guy who lives, you know, in the Toronto area for his juice. It was pretty sick. That was awesome. Todd's videos rock. Right now, I've been watching a lot of them. He's probably my go-to guy. I watch P. Basardo's videos too. Other than that, not too much, you know, not too much else. I'll watch the odd Rip Trippers video, and then there's like a couple of people who are kind of like not really known too much that I watch. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, Todd is awesome. Todd is super awesome. I really dig that dude in the shed and all that good stuff. All right. What else is new? New stuff. All right, so I'm vaping this. I'm vaping the Cartel with the Quicksilver. Zenith is dead. Voltmeter sucks. Drop the Hattie. I got some new cotton. All right, this is my new box of cotton. I got this rayon stuff, the CelluCotton. I went to Sally's Beauty Supply, and I walk in there, and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to get some of the CelluCotton, a box of it. And the lady's like, what size? And I'm like, it depends on what the price is. So they had a smaller box, like maybe, you know, a third of the size, half size, third of the size, something like that. And it was like $4 cheaper. So I'm like, just give me the bigger one then. So she gives me this thing, and I'm like, 3 pounds of CelluCotton? Like, this is going to last me forever. If you live near me, I'll definitely hook you up. If you want like a Ziploc bag of it or something, I think I can spare some, all right? And it's kind of funky. Where's the end of this thing? It's just kind of different, you know? I'll rip a piece off here. I've been digging it, though. Like, it's kind of different to wick. But you know what it reminds me of? It's kind of like, It's different. It looks like cotton, and it kind of feels like cotton, but the texture is just a little different. Like, it's just a little different. It's kind of weird. It's man-made, right? Like it's rayon. It's rayon. So it's man-made and it's chemically treated, and it kind of freaks people out, right? It's because it's not organic, and you know, it freaks people out. But I figure as long as you're not, you know, rolling it up in a zigzag and smoking it, you're okay. You're just using it as a wick. You're using it as a means to kind of deliver juice to your coils. That's it. And what I found with it is it's pretty cool. What I did was my all-day vape. Like, I've vaped this juice for about 2 months straight. Just like every day, this has been my all-day vape. I've vaped about 20 bottles of this in 2 months. I used my regular dripper. I used the Patriot, which is my go-to on a lot. Re-wicked it, used my all-day vape, and what I get is it's different. Like, it kind of brings out these different notes in it. Different notes. It's kind of like if you've ever built a coil with round wire and then you've built a coil with ribbon wire, okay? Ribbon wire kind of brings these different elements of your juice out, like different tones of flavor, whereas the round wire brings different tones. Like if you have, you know, a monotone juice, it's going to be pretty much the same. But if you have something that's like a tobacco with like banana and something else, like a few different flavors in it, you'll taste different things. And when I vape the rayon, I feel the exact same way, like I'm getting a different spectrum of flavors. And when I vape it, it's kind of like I'm getting the flavor that's supposed to be there. Like when you have your first vape in the morning, and then you have like, or maybe you wait like 3 hours between vapes or something like that, and you take that first pull, it's the best that it's going to be. And then your mouth just kind of gets coated with the flavor and you're just vaping it and it's there. But that first one is just awesome. And I just feel like it's the first one over and over and over again, which is really cool. But I've only been vaping it for a couple of days, 2 different juices and 2 different drippers. So it's hard to say right now. But both the juices I've really liked, you know. But taste is subjective, and people are weirded out by CelluCotton, by rayon, you know. Like, yeah, it's kind of weird, you know. But I'm so far so good, you know. In the next vlog, I'll talk a bit more about it. I might wick the next build video, or the Quicksilver RDA. I'll do a build for that. And I'll probably wick with the rayon on that one too, and we'll talk a little bit more about it as I wick with it. Cotton, organic cotton. The organic cotton that I use is Walmart brand. It's Whispers Organic Cotton. It's cheap, and it works really well for me. Somebody was asking me, should they boil their cotton? What I always say is, you know, no. I've tried boiling my cotton when I first started building, and it sucked trying to dry that stuff out. And if your pot had some remnants of whatever else you were cooking in it, really you were kind of tainting that cleaned cotton with whatever's in your dirty old pot. Unless you have a brand new pot that's dedicated to boiling cotton, I don't see a reason for it. But that's just me. If you boil your cotton and you like doing it, keep doing it. But if you're buying organic cotton, there should really be no reason to do it. You know, you shouldn't have to do it. Another thing I wanted to talk about was my name. Like the videos, they're Maestro Vapes. I got the hat on because I made this for VapeCan that's coming up. Maestro Vapes. My real name is Ralph, okay? And like my family, my parents and stuff, they call me Ralph because I was born in Finland. I'm European. My dad lives in Europe, and it's just, yeah, like growing up, it's hard to tell people that your name is Ralph, right? So everybody calls you Ralph. Hey Ralph, how you doing, Ralph? Hey Ralph. And if you're like moderately cool, you end up with nicknames like growing up, right? And I had my share, but when I was like in my early 20s, like at least, you know, about 15 years. 15 years ago, I used to work with this guy, and he was a Czechoslovakian guy, and he used to call me Maestro all the time, and he'd call people Francesco, and it was weird. Like, he'd just be like, Maestro, get this, Maestro, you get that, Maestro. I don't know why I turned into this weird, like, Italian tile guy, but I did there. But I used to kind of, like, imitate him when I went home, and I used to live with my buddy, and we'd kind of joke about it with my friends and stuff. And I'd just be like, Maestro, get the whatever, you know? And then it just kind of turned into, like, my friends saying, like, Maestro, get this, Maestro, get that. You know, it was just like a gag, right? And then it just kind of became. So people just started calling me Maestro, and then there was, like, different reasons for it. We'd make stuff up, and it was pretty funny. So, like, a lot of my close friends call me Maestro, or they call me Stro. Some people even call me Mice. They're like, hey, Mice. Hey, Mice. Hey, Stro. Maestro, what's up? So that's kind of where that all comes into play. Yeah, that's how it goes. Speaking of Maestro vapes, I was watching the Omega video. Like, I went back and watched it, which is weird because, like, I made it and I edited it. So, like, I've lived it and been there after the fact. But I was watching it just because to comment on a lot of people's video, like, comments and reply. The way YouTube is, it's kind of screwed up. Like, it'll give me a prompt and then say, oh, somebody commented. And I'll click on it to reply, and it'll take me to the video, open up the video, start playing, and I can comment, right? So I'm watching this video, and I was like 27 minutes into it, and I'm like, man, I really agree with what you're saying, dude. And it's like, what the hell, man? Of course you do. It's you, you know? And it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny to do that. Because, yeah, I pretty much watched the whole thing, and then I felt like a total friggin' weirdo for doing it. Yeah, I'll get to you in a minute. But it was cool. It was pretty funny. You had to be there, I guess. Comments, like notifications when people comment. Sometimes, I don't know what it is with the way that YouTube is, but sometimes it doesn't let me, like, tag that person. Like, if somebody, let's say, you know, John Doe sends me a comment and I reply to them and I'm like, I try and go plus John Doe or at John Doe, sometimes it won't let me do it. So there's a lot of comments that I've sent to people where I've tried to tag them so that they know, and they probably haven't seen it and they're like, this dude's a dick, he never got back to me. If you have, or you've asked a question, I try to get back to all the questions that I see. You know, so if you're out there and I haven't replied, maybe if you remember what video it was, go back to it. I've probably replied and just you haven't been notified of it, for the most part. So there's that, okay? Watch my own videos. The Omega Wire. The Omega Wire, really, why I brought that up was because it works really good, but it's really rigid and tough. Like, if you watch the video, it's tough to work with, and it's expensive. Like, when I bought it, it was $14.99 for 5 feet, okay? It is expensive, man. That's $5 a foot. So out of a foot, you could maybe get 3 dual coils if you're lucky and you stretch it, but you're safer doing 2. You know what I mean? So if you do 2, that's $1.50 a coil. All right, it's expensive to build. You know, it's not like buying a pack of cigarettes, but it's expensive enough, right? That I'm not sure it's worth the amount of money. And that's just me, you know. I probably will not get it again, but you know, whatever. That's just me. I know I can twist my own tiger coils, so I kind of like doing it too. Like, I like making my own tiger wire, so yeah, I might not, I probably won't get it again. The royal wire, however, after that piece that I tried that Tyler gave me, I liked it so much that I bought 2 packs of the 22 gauge and 1 pack of the 24 gauge because I want to try parallel coiling the 24. And It's great. It's fantastic. After that video, I actually did dry fire those coils, but the way that I did it is I just kind of pulsed them, short pulses, like half-second pulses, and kind of, you know, train those coils and strengthen them up. Like I'd be like, and kind of get them warming up. And then after a few pulses, I'd give it a squeeze, you know? Then do the same thing. And then after you do it a few times, they're strong enough to kind of give them a good haul and squeeze them and get them dialed in. So yeah, dry fire them and you'll get rid of that metallic taste that I was getting for sure. The Royal Wire, I like it a lot. CelluCotton in this, it looks weird. And I've been using this for 2 days and it doesn't look that grungy. Like normally this would look way dirtier. Way dirtier. It's kind of weird. I'm going to use this for a couple more days and see what happens with it. Clouds. This guy on my Facebook group asked about like how to make a dense, like a bigger, more dense cloud. Joel asked, right? It was Joel. So how do you do that? Well, the best way to do it is to get a higher VG juice. Or just get a bottle of VG and dump it on there, and you're gonna get a thicker, denser cloud. If you vape like let's say 50-50 juice and you go to 60-40 of like 60 VG, it's gonna be a little bit better. And if you can go to like an 80-20, it's gonna be much better. I vape usually like a 65-35 or 70 VG 30 PG blend. That's what I vape. And it's pretty good. Take your drip tip out, like I do, like tailpipe it, like I do, no drip tip. It's going to be a wider bore and allow you to get more airflow. That helps a lot too. Drilling your airflow holes out works. You could, you know, make it a little bit bigger. Typically, I won't go any bigger than like 3 mil, 3.5 mil tops. Because once you start getting into like 4, 5, 6 millimeter holes, it's just like an open door. You know what I mean? Like it's not creating any resistance to kind of build vapor in there. It's just kind of, and you get kind of wispy clouds when you have too big an air hole. I like these 1.5 mil holes. I think this is just a brilliant way to drill your top cap out. There's a bit of a resistance, but you get a lot of airflow too, so it works so good. This is probably my favorite drilling pattern. If you want to practice drilling, these are good. A lot of people ask me about these. They're copper couplers, right? And they're kind of cheesy to use, and if you went to like a cloud contest or something, people would kind of look at you like they're cheesy. And they kind of are. They kind of are. But I've used them in the past because they're really good for practicing drilling air holes. Okay? Really good for it. Like this one, what do I have? I have like 6 holes on this side, 6 on the other. I think these are all 2 mil holes on here. And then I have like 4 more at the top to kind of keep, you know, where you put your mouth a little bit cooler. But the thing with these is, when you do low resistance builds, they get hot. Like they get scorching hot. Like if you do a 20 gauge build in this and you start chain vaping it, it's super hot. Like you can't put your lips on it after like 5 huge hauls. Like you can't. It becomes fiery hot. But it is good to practice drilling holes in because they're cheap. Like I think I paid like $1.50 or $1.70 a piece. I bought one day, and then like 3 days later after I drilled one out, I went and bought like 4 more and practiced drilling them out. I think I still have one that I didn't drill out, and then one that was garbage, and just one that I kind of kept around. Like I don't use them because I just use the top caps that come with stuff. I can drill them out, but they're really good for practicing drilling your air holes on. Really good for really good practice. Airflow is good. What was it? Tailpipe, no drip tip, airflow holes. VG juice, your build is obviously going to be one. Like maybe if you're building whatever you're building, take one wrap off, you know? If you're doing, a 24 gauge build, let's say, or a 28 gauge build with like 5, 6 wraps, let's say you're doing 6 wraps. Next time you build it, do 5 wraps, See how that works. You're probably going to get a better result, It's going to heat up that little bit quicker. And yeah, you're going to have less surface area, but it's not going to take as long for it to heat up. So it's going to scorch quicker, more vapor really rapidly, especially if you just quit smoking recently and your lungs haven't really healed. Like it takes a little while for your lungs to kind of come back and those little hairs to kind of grow back. What's that called? Cilia, I think. It takes a while for it to for you to recover to actually take big hauls. And another thing that helps is genetics. Like I talked to one dude who won like a cloud contest before, and he won like a big one. And I asked him about it, and he was saying it's not really the build. He has an unfair advantage. And I'm like, what's the unfair advantage? And he said he used to be a swimmer when he was young. So he could hold his breath for like minutes at a time. I forgot how long it was, but it was, ridiculous amounts of time. He could hold his breath. He had a huge lung capacity from, training his lungs when he was a swimmer kid or whatever, right? So, yeah, you're teaching your lungs, practicing, I guess. You could practice, practice taking hauls. Like, one thing that helps is, like, a lot of times as a smoker, you take these hauls like this, right? So when you start vaping, you kind of simulate that, although it's a bit different, right? And you get a decent cloud, right? But if you can haul back on it and try and get as much vapor as you possibly can and kind of play with your inhale technique, that helps a lot too. It does. It helps a ton. Like I haul pretty good, like, and it works. I'm not the best cloud blowing dude out there because there's some people who are really good, but I'm okay. Like I do okay, So there's a couple of tips that might help you out, hopefully, Joel. Speaking of clouds, cloud gangs. I've been on my Instagram, and I follow these dudes up. Like there's serious like sub-ohm cloud gangs out there, and they go to like vape meets and contests and competitions and stuff and blow clouds and wear matching hats and shirts and stuff like that. It's funky, man. Like, who are 2 big ones? Sub-Ohm Crew is one. Sub-Ohm Crew with a K. And I think Vape Gang Society is another one. And they're just these fleets of dudes that blow clouds, which is pretty funky. But it's kind of funny because I think to myself, like, what happens if you meet up with these dudes in like a dark alley some night, Like, what happens? Is it kind of like a weird street fight's gonna happen? Like, you'll be walking with your mod and I'll be like, oh, so you blow clouds, eh? It's like, I try, They're just like some dude will walk up with a copper mod and then blow a cloud at you or something into your face. And then he'll be like, what up, dude? What's up with that? That ain't cool, dog. Step off. And then the ringleader will come up with like copper Manhattan and like some crazy drill pattern and then like start blowing clouds on you, and then they'll all kick in and fog you out and steal your wallet. Like, what happens, Like, that's what I picture. But yeah, I have a vivid imagination, right? Super cool. Yeah, like I said, like I follow these dudes. So it's pretty fun. They do some pretty funny videos and like big cloud videos and stuff. Check them all out. Maybe I should start a cloud gang. Maybe I should. I'm going to start some Canadian chapter cloud gang, like Arctic Fresh Cloud Crew or the Eskimo Vapor Clouders, or you know, sub-zero ohm crew. I don't know, man. If you guys have a suggestion for a name, like a Canadian vape gang name, let me know, and you know, we'll see about making it happen for sure. We're going pretty long on this. I'm at like 35 minutes right now. Holy cow, man. I don't know how far I've made it on my list of stuff. Royal Wire, Omega Wire, talked about it, bigger clouds, vape gangs, VapeCan, VapeCan, Vape Canada 2014 is happening this coming weekend. And I'm super excited. I booked my holidays from work around it. Like, I'm off for the next 2 weeks. So I'm super stoked. Um, who's coming? They're flying in like Phil Basardo and Grim Green and stuff. So it'll be neat to have those dudes there. I got a hotel room there at the convention. I think they're holding it at like a Holiday Inn convention center, and I got a room there on the Saturday night, so I'll be there on Saturday and a bit of Sunday, I guess, too. I might go down on Friday, but if you're like in the Toronto area this coming weekend, like, it'll be cool to see you, and definitely come out. Definitely come out. It's gonna be awesome. Like, I made a hat for it and everything. But now I feel all weird about it. Like, it's like weird self-promotion or something. Like, I feel weirded out. Like, maybe I should wear it backwards when I go there. I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But it's going to be awesome. I've kind of been talking to somebody who's going there about doing, like, something, and I'm pretty excited about it. I don't want to say what it is yet, but I'm pretty excited about it. So hopefully everything works out and things come together, you know. But yeah, I'll keep you posted. I'm pretty excited, like super excited, just on the Canadian level, you know. It's weird. Anyway, that's coming up. Zenith, did I touch on everything? I'm pretty close, man. I'm pretty close, I think. Vapors TV. Vapors TV. I think this is the last kind of thing I want to talk about. Well, actually, the Fogger. The Fogger V4. I got one. And I was going to buy one like 4 months ago. The shop, like, near where I live, had them. And they were like the first place to kind of have them. Like, it was immediate. No one had a video up or anything, and I was like, I'm getting a Fogger V4. And then I started thinking, I don't even use my K-Fun enough. Like, why am I going to get another tank? You know what? Forget it. And then, you know, about a month ago, I was thinking, like, a lot of people are talking about the Fogger V4. I'm going to try and get one. And they were out of stock at that time. So, you know, I ended up getting one. Probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, built it, and it was like one of the coolest things. I was gonna do a video for it, but there's a ton of them already, like a ton of them, and I don't know, like, I'm not sure, but the Fogger works pretty good. It works pretty good. It's a pain in the ass to build. It's one thing I'll say is it needs to have post holes, man. Like, I used to wrap on IGOL, right? And you would have to wrap around the screws and then hold it while holding your coil in place and tighten it down. And if your wire was a little thick or you were trying to do twisted or tiger, it would slide out. Like, it sucked, you know? It's kind of like building a K-Fun sometimes where you're wrapping it and the wire's pushing out. That's what it's like. But the Foggers, same thing as building a K-Fun, but you're building dual coil on 2 different posts, on 2 screws, right? So here's your K-Fun, but instead of, you know, having troubles doing a single coil, you've got those wires in place looped around, and you're trying to do another coil too. Like, it's brutal to build. It needs post holes, man. The people at Fogger, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, post holes in the next version would make that thing awesome. Okay, Fogger V5 post holes, please. So yeah, I'm not gonna do a video for it. I'm not. Shoot, man, I almost forgot. The Copper Nemesis is kind of underrated by a lot of people, and this thing is awesome. I've kind of, since I got my Manhattan, I've kind of set it aside, but I cleaned it all out. And the thing you need to remember about this is you need to clean the contacts and the bottom switch assembly. Like, if you have one and you're using it, take apart that bottom switch and the rice pellet and polish everything out, and it will hit so good. I was hitting on it like, hey baby, what are you doing later? I was hitting it. Hey baby, how you doing? I was vaping off this earlier after I cleaned it, and it was hitting extremely well, and it's reliable, like reliable. If you have one, use it. If you don't and you want a hard-hitting copper mod, it works good, okay? Just got to throw that out there. Like, if you don't want to spend $200 on a mech, you can buy. This is the H Cigar one. So buy the H Cigar Copper Nemesis. It works so good. My button kind of stuck there. Dead spot. Now I got to turn it a bit. You see that? I might be able to replicate it. Fuck, I can't. Facebook group, join it. Maestro Vapes, bunch of cool dudes, bunch of cool chicks on there. Join it up. Look for the group, Maestro Vapes, okay? What else? Vapors TV, a dude on the Facebook group. That's why I brought it up. He was asking about, doing a live show on Vapors TV, and I thought it was a cool idea. I still do. I still do. But I don't think that there's enough people. Like, if you want one, like if you guys out there, anybody watching this wants to see a live show, kind of chilling with the Maestro and a couple of dudes from the Facebook group or whatever, comment below, and say that you would like to do that. But right now, I don't feel like there's enough people to put on a good show. Like, it'd be just like us dudes chilling out and kind of talking about what we're vaping, and no one really asking questions. So I don't know. Like, I've seen people do it. Like, I know who is Southern Vapors. They have a decent show, and there's some other people who have decent shows on there, but they have like 20,000 people in their Facebook group. You know what I mean? And their YouTube channels have like, I don't know, tens of thousands of people or whatever on it, right? So I don't know if it would be a success and worth doing it, although I would love to do it. So if anybody is down for it, comment below and we'll try and make it work. I would really like to do it. I think that would be cool to just kind of chat with everybody and, type some stuff up, and it'll be like, yeah, dude, this is what I think, and people could chime in. Like, it'd be cool. It would be very cool. Let me vape this because I just overjuiced it. Man, I like the rayon. I might be one of those people. But whose video? I was watching Phil Basardo's video where he did all the cotton tests, and he was saying it's kind of like up in the air. And I was reading a post on Facebook today about people talking about Japanese cotton and rayon and all that stuff, and it was really split. Like, the room was so split, like half and half. So, maybe I'm just on the half that kind of likes the rayon, whereas a lot of you guys might not. Maybe you'll like, Japanese cotton a bit better. I like Japanese cotton. I think it's pretty cool. I haven't been using the Kogendo, however you want to pronounce it. I think Kogendo. I like saying Kogendo. Kogendo. Maybe it's Kogendo. Yeah, so the Kogendo, I haven't been using that. I've been using some of the Shishido. Shuashido. Don't do it, man. Live. We want you to live. Don't be Shuashido. Shishido. And it works well. It works decent. It works really decent. But I'm still used to organic cotton. I've never used a hemp wick. I don't know what it's about. I'm not really super interested in it. Cotton bacon, I would like to try, but I know it's like out of stock. Where do they sell that? Whatever. Either way, cotton bacon, I would like to try that, but I don't know. I think it's going to be decent, but I don't think that it, with any cotton, that it's going to be just, worlds apart. Like, there might be minor differences that you like, But I think a lot of people are out there thinking, okay, well, if I get cotton bacon, it's going to double my vapor production or double my flavor. And I don't see that happening with anything. Whether you're using, a pillowcase or an old t-shirt or friggin' maxi pads or tampons or whatever you wick with, right? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's going to get a ton better. But, whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. It's like juice, Whatever you like, vape it. Coils, whatever you like, vape it. Oh, one more thing. I almost forgot. I was at a shop. And I was watching a coil being built for somebody. And they built this dude a coil. And this dude had been vaping a Sigelli 21. Okay? Sigelli 21, like an aero tank, I think. And it's like, what, like a 1.8 ohm coil? I don't know. I don't vape the aero tank. I've tried it. But yeah, I'm a dripper guy, right? I like tanks. I like rebuildable stuff. But I watched this dude who's, been accustomed to vaping an aero tank at about, probably between 12 and 17 watts. Something like that, I would guess. Max 17, probably closer to 10 to 12. And it's his first rebuildable. And some stainless mod. I forget what. Shit. Whatever, stainless mod, right? And they bought one 30 amp battery, like one purple 30 amp battery, something like that. And got built a 0.3 ohm coil. And I get that the person building the coils is building, 0.3 ohm coils for themselves, and then that's fine. But, if you're accustomed to 1.8, that's a big difference. Huge difference. Huge difference from your, probably 12 watts on your Sigelli, right? It'd be like me building that person who builds 0.3s a 0.06. You know what I mean? Like, it would probably be a little bit too much, so it's not just that it's too much for them, but the problem that I see is, let's say the resistance is 0.3. I've just opened up Ohm's law calculator, okay? Voltage on a fresh battery with low voltage drop, I'm calling it 4.1. I do that because it works for stuff that I use, right? Calculate 0.3. So from that 12 watts that they were hitting, it's becoming 56 watts. So they might love it and want to become cloud chasers, and cool, right on. But it's also draining 13.5 amps from the battery. Okay, now they bought one 30 amp battery. So what happens when that 30 amp battery dies? They're probably going to grab the other batteries that they have. So maybe they have another 10 amp battery. Maybe they have, maybe they have an EVIC or something that has that pink 10 amp battery. Or is that even a 10 amp? Maybe that's a 7 amp. But they're going to put that thing in, and it's going to become overloaded a bit. Like, it's going to be working to keep up on their stainless mod. And the thing is, with stainless doesn't all, like, for me, when I build low res on like a stainless mod, a lot of times it gets hot. Like, it will get hot. Copper seems to be a better conductive unit. And sometimes, like, my copper mods, like my cartel gets warm because it's a super thick piece of metal, and the addy kind of transfers that heat into it. So it gets warm when I chain vape it. The Manhattan does not. It kind of gets warm, but the switch doesn't get hot, any of that. It works super good. But if I was using, like, what's a stainless mod I have? Like, my first stainless mech mod was like a Sigelli, and it had a number. Like, it was like a Sigelli number 6 or number 8 or something like that. My second mech mod was a Smoke Tech Magneto. Now, if I used either one of those, low resistance, I remember, like, my Magneto, where it threads together, it would get hot and it would, like, scorch through the threading when I did low res builds. So, you know, like if somebody's using a stainless steel mod and they're doing low resistance and maybe they try and replicate that build and they have a hard time with it, so they do one less wrap than you did, and fuck, man, I just can't hold on to my Manhattan. Fuck. Sorry, guys. But they're trying to replicate that build. They do one less wrap. Their 30 amp battery is dead. They put in the 10 amp battery, burns their hand or whatever, starts venting. They don't know what to do. They're looking at it. It's just not cool, you know what I mean? And there's so many good vapes in between there, you know? There's so many good vapes. I would suggest, if you're going to build for somebody, build like a 0.7. You know, that would work pretty good. Let me do the math on that one real quick. I closed the app. Of course I did. Ohm's Law. What's that going to work out to? 0.7, I believe, should be it. 4. Done. But then there's going to be voltage drop. Whatever. 0.7. Done. Calculate. So 0.7 is a nice start for someone like that because it's like 24 watts. And the amperage drain is 5.8571425 amps. But yeah, it's 5.8, 5.9 amps. So even if they did go and put their 10 amp battery in it, it would be okay. So I don't know, 0.7 to 0.9 would be good because it's sub-ohming, but it's, for a lot of people, it's not. You know, it's not really sub-ohming, you know? But it is, but it's not. Does that make any sense to you guys? It kind of makes sense to me. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got. So, you know, keep people safe and let people learn, you know, and be happy vaping, you know? Like, I vape low res, but there's people out there who vape lower res than me still, which is, you know, kind of nuts in my mind, you know? But, yeah, that's... let people grow, you know? Well, I built everything. I built every resistance, and I learned, you know? I learned as much as I possibly could about the batteries that I used, and once I realized I couldn't use those batteries anymore, I went to a 30 amp battery before I needed it, you know? I went to a 30 amp battery when I was building around I think I was vaping around 0.7, and I went to a 30 amp battery. So, and yeah, I didn't need it, you know, but I was preparing myself and it was good. And just understanding how your mod works, like if you really look at it sometime, a lot of you guys already know, but some people don't, like understand, like there's a battery in there with a positive and a negative connection, and when you push that button, it makes that circuit, right? And then you're gonna have your Addy, and it's gonna have a pin in it, and that pin has, you know, the pin is your positive, the outer casing is your negative, and that's what's creating that circuit and, you know, heating up your coils. You know, and when you kind of look at it for a bit and understand it, it makes more sense, you know, and then you understand how it's drawing from your battery, you know, it's neat, you know, and you don't want to skip that, or you don't want to push somebody too quickly, you know, you don't want them to build a 0.3 and then be junkying out to build a 0.1, not be prepared for it, have a short, and, you know, have shitty things happen. Like, I've heard about stories about people blowing their hands off and stuff like that. I don't think it's that big a concern. Like, I always stress vaping safe to people, but it's not happening at rapid rates. But like, cloud chasing is growing, and people are going to make mistakes right now. So learn about it. Learn as much as you can. I hear more stories about like poison control centers, you know, like people's children or pets getting into their e-liquids and, you know, having issues. So put your e-juice away, you know, if the kids are around, or your niece or nephew's coming over, or your dog might want to chew on the bottle or something like that. Put the stuff away. Put it in a shelf. Put it in a lockbox if you have to, you know, but, you know, keep your family and friends and pets and everybody safe, you know, like community, my friends. So this video has been super long, guys. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can hang in there, chill out. I'm going to cut out of here because we're at like an hour. All right, so I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Maybe I can edit this down. I don't know. I'll just leave it. Anyway, guys, butt out, vape up, breathe easy, know your limits and vape within it, and you'll have an awesome, stellar, wicked cool day. All right? I'll catch you on the next one. Clouding out.